If you have poor leadership, it probably came from poor decision making in election time. Ask questions that are not just about very short-term type of benefit, like for example, do I get free toll, do I get free water? What will happen to the Malaysian economy? Are we going to have a recession in 2023? For this 15th general election, there are many issues that investors must be paying attention to, for the simple reason that the situation facing Malaysia and the situation facing the global economy, the global community as a whole, it's unprecedented. There's a lot of turmoil, there's a lot of uncertainties where we have never seen, the global community and the Malaysian investors have never seen before. For example, we have the last 3 years we're dealing with a pandemic where we're just coming out of it. Then you have extreme weather from climate change affecting almost every country in the world. You have the geopolitical situation, which is taken to a level that the world has not seen for a long time. The Ukrainian crisis, the ongoing US economic war, technology war against China, and then locally in Malaysia, we have a political situation where the country is divided. You have so many political parties, and within each political party, you have so many factions. So can we, of course, as investors, they'll be asking the questions, after the elections, can we have a strong, stable and capable administration to deal with this environment that is very demanding and very unprecedented? If you have a strong, capable, stable government, then investors would have the comfort that should there be any major recession, should there be any major shocks that can come locally or overseas, then you have a government, an administration that will be capable of dealing with them. And that certainty, that predictability would be reassuring to investors, especially, the stock market is a market where a lot of sentiment, a lot of psychological factors come into play. We're talking about two extremes, right? One, you have strong, capable, stable government, and the other extreme, you have unstable, weak, ineffective government. So those are the two outliers. And of course, in between, you have maybe a mixture of these two extremes. So if you're talking about the possible extreme where you are not able, after the election, you're not able to form a government even with a simple majority, then you're going to get the same changes in administration again. We had 3 prime ministers in 1 parliamentary term since 2020. But look at United Kingdom, look at UK. Established long history of democracy. They have 6 prime ministers in about 8-9 years. They have 5 chancellor of the exchequer, which is the finance ministry. And even now, the political situation in UK is still very unstable and investors are worried. So if a mature democracy like UK can face this kind of turmoil, this kind of political chaos, what about a young democracy like Malaysia? So I think your question, should we have an election results that produce a government that is weak, that is not able to implement the right socio-economic policies, that would be worrying for investors. Voters, the man in the street, the person in the street has forgotten that we determine the quality of the leaders. If you have poor leadership, it probably came from poor decision making in election time. So the voters have the other responsibility to play. That means you must be able to vote the right person, the right leaders, the right political party. thing is, voters, whether you are, whatever your ethnicity is, whatever your religious background is, you must be open-minded enough to listen to all angles. Even if the political party or the politician is giving you views that are contrary against what you think is right, listen to them. Explore all the possible views or possible opinions. Then, when you are open-minded enough, then you will be able to get closer to what the truth is. Because if you're close-minded, if every voter is close-minded, you're going to get political leaders, political parties that are as equally close-minded as you are. So first thing is, to the voters, be open-minded, listen to alternate views, opposing views, and then dig deeper. Ask questions that are not just about very short-term type of benefit, like for example, do I get free toll, do I get free water, and so on. Ask issues that are more longer term in nature, like for example, how would you, if I will elect you as my member of the parliament, how would you make sure that the country's education system will be improved? How can you make sure that the quality, the skills of Malaysian workforce will be improved? Things that will make a major impact on the country as a whole. So the right questions, because if you don't ask the right questions, if voters don't ask the right questions, you are not going to get the right answers. Open-mindedness, probe deeper, asking the right questions, very fundamental in making sure you get the right candidate. Because if I were to ask, if I'm 18, 19, 20 years old and ask my possible candidate, I think I've got a long list of questions to ask. But if you give me only two questions to ask, I would probably be asking them, what would you do to make sure that we have good, capable leaders and administrators? The efficiency, the capability of our leaders and our administrators is fundamental in making sure that they can lead the country out of difficult situations. That would be number one. And number two would be, what sort of priorities would you be emphasizing? Are you going to have policies that are race-based, or are you going to have policies which are performance-based? What are you going to do if you're given that choice? The most innovative investment event in the entire Asia Pacific. And for the Investor Day, because it's held on 26th of November, which is about 6 days after the election results are out, the participants will be able to get answers or intelligent questions from us as to what will happen to the country now that the election is over, what will happen to the Malaysian economy. Are we going to have a recession in 2023? Will inflation get worse? Will interest rate rise further? Will the ringgit decline further? So I think we will be in a good position because it's after the election. We know the results. We know who are the winners and the losers, to be able to give some guidance to investors as to what Malaysia's political future, what Malaysia's economic outlook will be like, and also the outlook for the Bursa Malaysia over the next couple of years. So it's very timely that we have the Investor Day 6 days after the election results.